Alright guys, let's quickly go over this max speed build. I'm going to go over the runes, the gear choices, then we'll do some Torment 1 farming, the route that I've been doing for the most part, which seems to be the most efficient way to utilize this build at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's do runes real quick first. Actually let's do gear first, just to kind of show you like how this is even possible. So we're running Horrify Stalker, 20% movement speed, and then obviously Spirit Walk for more movement speed there. Then every time you horrify or fear something with this ring, you get a 60% increased movement speed for 4 seconds after fearing. Then with these bracers, you get another 50% boost in movement speed every time you break a wreckable object. So when you're at full max movement speed from all those abilities, you get up to about 205% movement speed. Now, obviously you're not going to have that up all the time, but if you farm the correct zones, you can almost have it up 100%. I mean, it's probably more something like 75-80%, but it's close, and if you play it correctly. I've only been running this for a couple days, so I'm still a little bit of a noob with it, but I'm getting better. So those are like the main two pieces of gear that really make it work. Then as far as the rest of your gear goes, the Mad Monarch Scepter is pretty insane. Every time you kill 10 enemies, you release a Poison Nova 30 yards out from your character that deals 1300% weapon damage, which just does an insane amount of damage. It pretty much one-shots all white mobs for the most part. So that's pretty crazy. Also, I mean, 30 yards is a pretty big deal, so it's going to break wreckable objects, which is nice. Every time you pick up a health globe, you release a Fire Explosion that deals 312% weapon damage within 20 yards. So another AoE that you don't really have to cast any spells to do. And you know, when you're killing tons of things constantly in big AoE radiuses, a lot of health globes are dropping, so that procs a lot. Then Deathwatch Mantle, 18% chance to explode in a fan of knives for 200% weapon damage, which again, you know, it's not terribly relevant, but it's another 200% damage that you don't have to cast anything for it to happen. So it's pretty nice. And then like the rest of the gear is pretty much just my max damage gear for Acid Cloud and poison damage. So pretty much you're just running around as fast as you can with these two abilities. You run Mana 2 just because it's an ability you can cast and just leave up for 20 seconds, and he'll throw out little spirit bolts here and there and break wreckable objects as you're walking or running or what have you. So that's pretty good. Acid Cloud's the main damaging ability. The Acid Rain rune just has a 24-yard radius. It's really good for just hitting every mob and breaking objects as well. Same with Soul Harvest. I mean, it's a huge nuke that's off of cooldown all the time because of Grave Injustice, because you're constantly just killing things extremely fast. So you can pretty much just spam this thing. Does a lot of damage. I mean, it's pretty good. Big Bad Voodoo is pretty much just for Elite and Champion packs. Running Slam Dance. As far as passives go, I'm running Rush of Essence at the moment just to make sure that I always have all my mana, but honestly this 4th slot is kind of just up in the air. I could probably run just about anything there. It doesn't really matter. What you really need is Grave Injustice and Gruesome Feast. Grave Injustice for the cooldown reduction, Gruesome Feast for more damage. Blood Ritual, again, is kind of just like a toss-up. I don't think I really need either one of these necessarily. I've tested out a few different passives, and most of them are just kind of irrelevant, to be honest, with what we're doing here. But the route that I run with this particular build is what I've been doing is I've been going into adventure mode, and instead of messing around with bounties, I go to Act 1, do Cathedral 4, 2, 1, then go to Halls of Agony 1, 2, sometimes 3, if I'm feeling frisky, and then I'll go to Act 3, do Keep Depths 1 and 2, go to High Heavens, do Hell Rift, and then start a new game. Now, the reason I'm doing those zones is because they have the highest mob density and the highest density of wreckable objects, so you have the best uptime on your max movement speed. Now, obviously, that particular farming route is not going to be the best for blood shards, experience, gold. Well, it's probably okay for gold actually, because you're killing things so quick, so a lot of gold will be dropping. But experience, blood shards, you know, obviously you're not doing rifts, you're not going to be getting forgotten souls and things like that. This is just like strictly for killing as fast as possible. You kill a ton of goblins, a ton of elite and champion packs, tons of white mobs, tons of purple mobs. So far, I've probably done 3 to 5 1-hour tests, and I've been averaging about 4 legendaries per hour doing this, which is better than the majority of farming currently in the game, if you exclude chest farming, which I'm assuming will, at some point when people are watching this, will be nerfed. But yeah, so that's it. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Do a quick run real quick. So pretty much the biggest thing as far as timing goes, man, where's all the mobs at? Biggest thing as far as timing goes is you want to make sure that you cast your acid cloud, but then fear almost right after. You want the acid cloud to kind of be coming down as you fear. That way you get a burst of speed right before you take off. So like this right here is going to slow me down a little bit. And that's really the biggest thing, is you just want your maximum uptime on the fear from the ring and the movement speed from the ring and the movement speed from the bracers, which isn't too hard to do in most zones that I've been farming here. Now another option too is just to spam rifts with this, which is possible, and it's really pretty fast. If you do Torment 1 rifts, which we're on Torment 1 right now, by the way, I didn't say that. It's pretty fast. The problem with rifts is there's a little bit of high variance. Like there's sometimes you go into a rift and there's just like nothing to break, or and pretty much if I go to a dead end, I'm just gonna zone to the next place. Don't want to backtrack. Backtracking slows it down way too much. But as far as rifts go, there's high variance. Like sometimes you'll go into a zone and there'll just be like nothing to break for the bracers, or you know you'll have an area that just hardly has anything to kill, hardly anything to fear. You know, so like it just slows you down a little bit too much. Something that I was running for a little while was, instead of Soul Harvest, I was running. So like that should have feared right there. I was in range. Something that I was running for a while was like this backtracking is bad. I was running zombie bears for a single target nuke, which seemed like it was a little bit faster on elite and champion packs, but I think the Soul Harvest is better overall for the most part. Because at this point, you're pretty much just spamming Soul Harvest when it comes off a cooldown on Elite and Champion packs, and then you're also... There's probably some stuff to kill in here. Then you're also, you know, just spamming Acid Cloud, which is pretty fast, but it's not as fast as Zombie Bears is. I don't think I can port from here. Go to here. Oh, a goblin. Now again, like I could have backtracked right there, but I think it's just, for efficiency purposes, I think it's better to just go to the next area and start over again. You run into a dead end, just start fresh somewhere else. So if you have to backtrack too much, more than likely you've probably already killed all the monsters, so there's nothing to fear for the speed boost, and probably destroyed all the objects too. So there's nothing to boost you there either. See, like right there, I should have feared before I killed all that, so I had to boost in speed. Sometimes single target takes a little while to kill. You don't have other stuff around. With all the AoE happening. Definitely still trying to get used to just running this fast. Sometimes I'll just run like right into a wall. You know, when you're going, it's like trying to handle a race car, man. When you're not used to it, it's a little bit rough. Alright, let's go to. I'm just gonna go to keep depths 2 for now, and then make that be the last place. I think it's a pretty good showcase of what the build can do so far. I think it's probably good enough. See, like right there, I should have feared before I killed all that stuff. This slows me down a good bit by not having that speed buff on the way out. That's really like the most tricky part of it, just timing, because everything dies so fast. You just have to kind of time your fears, because you don't want to send everything running in all directions before you kill it. So you kind of want to fear like right before everything dies. Now there's a helmet that when you fear with Horrify, it roots everything in place as well. So that'd be the perfect helmet for this build. I just don't have it at the moment. It's a voodoo mask, I believe. Dude, stop fearing me. I fear you. I'm the person supposed to be fearing here. So. So right before I kill him, I'm going to fear him. It's hard to click chests when you're running this quick too. Like I always try to click the chests, I have to click them like 5 times. But it's more just getting used to the build. Alright, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's really the best so far from the testing that I've done, which is only a few hours. It's like the best for legendaries solo at the moment that I've seen. Just Tournament 1 speed farming like that. Most of the time, if I'm just sitting here like not streaming, just going at it while listening to music or whatever, I can do about if I do the entire run, which I didn't do the entire run just there, I can do about probably 6 or 7 of those runs in about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. Just depends. So I mean, it's good for legendaries. I've been averaging about 4 an hour doing it. It seems pretty great. Now obviously, like when Reaper of Souls is released, if none of these items get nerfed, which I have a feeling this Mad Monarch Scepter might get nerfed, 1300% weapon damage and a 30-yard radius is pretty OP, especially for things like this. I think this is probably the build that utilizes that effect the most from what I've seen anybody doing. And it'll probably get nerfed. I mean, maybe not. You never know. But if none of the items get nerfed, I mean, you'll be able to do this when Reaper of Souls is released. Now, obviously, it's very specific. You have to have a specific setup of items. But honestly, you could do it without this weapon. At that point, you would just need to make sure that your Acid Cloud was hitting a little bit harder than mine are, so that you could get to a point where you're just about one-shotting everything with your Acid Cloud. The biggest thing is you just need this ring for the 60% movement and the bracers for the 50%. But yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching.